Join me as I try to recreate Phyllis's famous braised collard greens and see if I can nail her secret recipe. Phyllis's braised collard greens are a staple in Southern cuisine, and it's no secret that collard greens hold a special place in the hearts of many Southerners. They're more than just a side dish, they're a symbol of community, of tradition, of warmth and love. And Phyllis's recipe is the gold standard when it comes to braised collard greens. I think we can all agree that cooking collard greens can be a bit of a challenge. More often than not, they end up being tough, bitter, or just plain unappetizing. And it's not because we're not trying, it's just that collard greens can be finicky. They require a certain level of care, attention, and patience to get them just right. But what if I told you that Phyllis's recipe is about to change the game? One of the most common mistakes people make when cooking collard greens is not giving them enough time to cook. You can't just toss them in a pot and expect them to be tender and delicious in 30 minutes. You need to give them at least an hour, sometimes even 2, to really break down and absorb all the flavors. And another thing people often get wrong is not trimming the stems properly. You need to remove that tough, fibrous stem and only use the leaves and tender parts of the stem. Another issue people face is dealing with the bitterness of collard greens. It's a natural part of the plant, but it can be overwhelming if you're not careful. The key is to balance out that bitterness with some acidity, like a splash of vinegar or a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. And finally, there's the texture. Nobody likes a mushy, overcooked collard green. You want them to still have a little bit of crunch, a little bit of texture. But enough about common mistakes, let's dive into Phyllis's recipe. First, you're going to want to start with some good quality collard greens. Look for ones that are fresh, tender, and free of any signs of wilting or decay. Next, you're going to want to trim those stems and remove any tough or fibrous parts. Then, you're going to want to chop them up into bite-sized pieces and set them aside. Now we're going to make the braising liquid. You're going to want to combine some olive oil, some onion, some garlic, some salt, and some pepper in a large pot. Sauté those aromatics until they're soft and fragrant, then add in some chicken broth, some apple cider vinegar, and a pinch of red pepper flakes. Bring that mixture to a boil, then reduce the heat and let it simmer for at least an hour. Once your braising liquid is ready, it's time to add in those chopped collard greens. You're going to want to add them in batches, so they're not all crowded in the pot. Let them cook until they're tender, then season with some salt and pepper to taste. And the secret ingredient that makes Phyllis's collard greens stand out? A splash of heavy cream. That's right, heavy cream. It adds a richness, a depth of flavor that takes these collard greens to the next level. As I take my first bite, I'm immediately transported to my grandmother's kitchen. The flavors are so rich, so deep, so comforting. The heavy cream adds a level of sophistication, of elegance, that takes these collard greens from humble side dish to show-stopping centerpiece. This is it, folks, this is the secret to Phyllis's famous braised collard greens. To recap, the key to Phyllis's braised collard greens is patience, attention to detail, and that secret splash of heavy cream. It's a game changer, trust me. So go ahead, give it a try, and see if you can recreate that magic in your own kitchen. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever tried braised collard greens? Do you have a secret ingredient that takes them to the next level? Let me know. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more cooking videos, recipe tutorials, and culinary adventures.